Welcome to Super Mario Galaxy! Woohoo!
Oh boy. Oh man. It is 2025, and I have finally beat Super Mario Galaxy for the first time ever. So this is super exciting for me, guys, because I've wanted to play this game since I was 9 years old. If you don't want to hear the story, go and skip to the time that I have right now on the screen and go all the way over there to that time there, and you'll just go right into the review. But if you want to hear the story, here it is. It's not that long, but I'll tell it. So this is during a time where we had at the most was a DS or a portable console like a PlayStation Portable is all we had. And those plug and play little devices that you plugged into the TV. You have an AV port and a left channel port. That's all we had, those plug and play TV games. And so I remember going over to a friend's gathering. They had a family gathering and we were over there with them. And I remember one of my friend's uncles was playing this game, and it was a planet. I remember him jumping around on just the original training planet you first are on. And I remember him playing that, and I'm like, what is this? It was Super Mario, and then it was in the galaxies. And I'm like, whoa, this is so crazy. And he was playing that. And back in that time, he would have had the Wii, would have been a little bit older at that point, maybe 1 or 2 years after its release. I remember he was playing through it, and I was just super fascinated. Didn't get to see him play too much of it, just a glimpse, and then we went back to playing outside. But ever since I first saw that, I've always wanted to play Super Mario Galaxy. And funny enough, when that same friend's uncles brought around a gaming laptop emulating Super Smash Bros. Melee, I ended up just eventually figuring out how to do emulation myself and playing Super Mario Sunshine, getting about a third of the way through that, and played the heck out of Super Smash Bros. Melee. And it was on an old i3 machine. The old i3 Slim, no graphics card, integrated graphics. I thought it was the most powerful machine ever. A 64-bit Dell i3 computer. Optiplex computer. So that tells you something. In fact, actually, I'm recording on an Optiplex, one of the bigger ones right now, and it has an i7, not an i3 in it though. So yeah, I ended up skipping out on Super Mario Galaxy, and then when I got, when our family got the Wii, we never got a Super Mario Galaxy, because my friends that had the Wii before us never had Super Mario Galaxy. Their uncle did, but they didn't. They had different priorities with games too, so they weren't like Super Mario fans necessarily. They were Mario Kart fans and Smash Brothers fans. So I went from Wii to Wii U, never played Super Mario Galaxy, and then I ended up getting my own computer, building all that, and it's years later, it's 2025, and I finally played Super Mario Galaxy. So that was a quick recap. I've always wanted to play this game. I even had copies that were scratched, like I found one, or someone gave us a copy and it was scratched, it didn't work. Now, I finally have a Wii, finally cleaned it off, booted it up as always do. They 90% of them always boot up. They never die. It's up and running, and I have Super Mario Galaxy. Finally beat it, so let's get into it. Let's do this thing. You gotta admit that intro is absolutely amazing. And it has a very similar feel to Super Mario 64, its intro, and the letter style and coloring and all that. But the way they did this intro is relatively simple. I mean, it is a still three-dimensional image with another like parallaxing image inside of the galaxy. But it's a relatively very simple intro, but it looks amazing and is just so crisp. Okay, so here's my profile. And yeah, finally 120 stars. Love how they kept the tradition of 120. And I know for the director of this Mario, which would have been his second Mario game, because the one before this was Super Mario Sunshine, it was a lot of pressure on him to just kind of make a game that was very reminiscent of 64, but also in the galaxy and completely original and new. So, alright, so I can do the Luigi version or I can do the Mario version. As you can see, I barely played the Luigi, but I have definitely played all the Mario. So let's go. Okay, so in this review, I want to let you guys know that I actually originally played this game in the 4:3 aspect ratio. I didn't know that you can actually... I thought my TV just couldn't display it in widescreen. I didn't even know the way this technology works. So the way that Super Mario 64, 64, that's a what? That's just not. This is definitely not Super Mario 64. I don't remember it looking this good, but this is how I imagined it looking, I guess. I don't know all the technicalities of it, but basically, in Super Mario Galaxy, and just any other Wii game, it actually, like, displays the same 4:3. It always is displaying that. But what it ends up doing is, like, if you need widescreen, you can, like, stretch it. So that's what the Wii does. All it does if you want a widescreen image is it just calculates that, and the game is compensating for that, and it squishes all of that data down. And then when you click widescreen, it stretches it out. So you're not actually getting a widescreen image. You're getting a 4:3 that's stretched out to the borders to be a 16:9 aspect ratio, which a lot of these intermediate TVs, like the one I'm at right now, it's like one of the first generation flat screens. It's very heavy, very big. It's a Vizio. It has both the older plugins and the newer ones. With a TV like this, is you can actually like change it manually to go widescreen or not so widescreen, etc. So the issue with that is the fact that you're gonna lose some detail, you're gonna lose some quality. It's not gonna be like, you know, native or anything, but it is still 480p, which is what I have it at right now. It looks pretty good, and actually, if I played, you know, the 75% of the game of Super Mario Galaxy and actually played it in the 16:9 to the 4:3, I think I would have enjoyed it a whole lot more. But nonetheless, I want to let you know, it is a very different experience playing in a 4:3 aspect ratio than it is a 16:9. But it still held up. In fact, it actually holds up a little bit better in some cases because there isn't that stretch. And so you can actually see it in basically its full compressed state, or its original native state, I should say. This game is enjoyable. It really is, but it is not a game for me that I would actually say is like the best Mario game I've ever played. In fact, as weird as it is, I actually feel like I enjoyed Super Mario 64 better and more than I enjoyed Super Mario Galaxy. Now that's a lot. That's a lot to say, and it's not necessarily comparable because, you know, I played Super Mario 64 twice all the way through when I was a kid and no internet, and that was basically one of the only games I had back then. And definitely one of the only single-player games I had back then. You know, that's a legitimate, you know, point. But the thing is that as I was playing this game, I couldn't help but think about Super Mario 64. And that just shows you how well Shigeru Miyamoto made Super Mario 64. It is the only three-dimensional platformer Mario game that Shigeru Miyamoto actually directed. And he got it down to a T. The amount of animation that Mario had was immense, intense, and amazing for the time. The graphics were the only thing that were lacking in Super Mario 64, because even Shigeru Miyamoto says they could have actually done more with it. It only was using a smaller percentage of the Nintendo 64 processing power, which by the time they were actually making The Legend of Zelda, both of those, including Majora's Mask, it actually was using most of the Nintendo 64's power, if not all of it. So it was a learning game. It wasn't even, you know, the pinnacle of the Super Mario 64 that it could have been, or the pinnacle of a game that Nintendo 64 could have provided. But it was an absolutely amazing game nonetheless, and that was because the gameplay, the physics, and the variable physics that it actually had. First of all, 120 different stars that you had to collect, some hidden, some not, in Super Mario 64 was insane. So this game, Super Mario Galaxy, looks amazing. I would say that's probably what Super Mario Galaxy has going for it, is the looks. Look at these sparkles as I'm like going down this this wire framed, what I don't know what you want to call these, like wire warped portal things. The sparkles are really beautiful. I mean, look at the landscape of this. It is in the galaxy. It looks very good. And this is in 2025. I'm showing you guys native footage. This is not on Nintendo Switch. This is the original Wii hardware. It holds up very well. It is one of the only games that actually looks, you know, modern on the Wii. No offense, Wii, but this is actually one of those games. The only other game I think compares to the Super Mario Galaxy is some of those JRPG games, which I never played, so sorry, don't mean to offend anybody, but I have never played any of them. They look really, really good, and the only other one that I could think of that I actually played was Smash Brothers Brawl. That game is very well done. The models on Super Mario, I need to write a script. The models in Super Smash Bros. Brawl were insane. They were very, 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 very detailed for the time, and the textures did a lot of heavy lifting. But you could tell in Super Smash Bros. Brawl that it was a very, very well done game, and actually it pushed the limits of the Wii in more ways than one. So, rolling this back into Super Mario Galaxy as it is here, this review is going to be long-winded. It is not actually going to be very condensed. I'm thinking I was going to be able to do this in like one fell swoop, and that's just not true. So, it's Super Mario Galaxy. It's a very, 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 very good game. Now, me personally, it is not one of my favorite games at all. In fact, it is a game that I have played, and it is okay, and it is alright, and it is fine. That's how I view the game. But I want to give it a fair shot because I think there's multiple things that hurt it that are not necessarily the worst, because it was actually used to expand the longevity of the playtime. I'm talking about Mario's movements. So in this game, compared to Super Mario 64, that's the main reference I have. Plus, I played a lot of Super Mario Sunshine, but I never beat Super Mario Sunshine. I do plan on going to Super Mario Sunshine in the near future. But after this, playing Super Mario Galaxy, I do plan on going to Super Mario Galaxy 2, which I will play right after I get done recording this review. Alright, so first things first, let's talk about the HUD. So, I think this Super Mario is one of the best ones ever that handles the HUD, because the HUD is not there when you're moving, but when you stop moving, the HUD actually comes up. There's something very beautiful and intrinsically artistic about that I actually appreciate. It gives you the full scope of Super Mario Galaxy, and I think that's probably its biggest, once again, one of its biggest pros, is the fact that it actually is showing you how beautiful the game is. It's giving you all of the availability to actually look around and explore and see the full detail of everything. When you're not moving, it shows you what you need. When you are moving, it gives you focus, so you can actually look at things that are beautiful, look at things that are detailed, and just enjoy the landscape. One of the great things about Super Mario Galaxy is the fact that it actually runs at 60 frames per second. 60 frames per second, and it looks this good on a Wii. Absolutely amazing. Locked at 60. I don't even think it drops. It may. I should probably do some more research on that. But if it does drop, it's not enough to actually make you think, oh my gosh, it's horrible. You just don't notice it if it does. And it is very beautiful, lots of sparkles, lots of glow. And that is something very, very unique about this game. There is a glow, there is a shine, there is reflective. Look at the reflective thing right there. Look at that. Look at the reflective star. Look at this thing. It is so beautifully like glass-like. And then if I go and break it, look at the way the chunks just fall off, and then I can just grab the star and then I just go to beautiful game. It's a very beautiful game. But I think it's mostly, that's just what this game is meant to do. Its major pull is how beautiful it is. And the experimental gameplay. Lots of experimental gameplay on here. But look at the detail. The detail's amazing. The way the Lumas are looking at you. They have little tiny circle shadows. You got the little toads running around. You got Luigi doing his thing over there. You got the yellow toad just sleeping for some reason. And see the HUD. There you go. It pops up. You're not moving. It pops up. You can see your stars, your lives, your star bits, your coins, and your life. This is all stylized, very space-like. It's very, very good. UI, I would say, is top-notch. In fact, one of the best, if not the best UI in any Mario game ever. So now that we've basically seen the UI, the thing for me, where it starts breaking down is actually the movement. I would say the movement in this game is lackluster compared to Super Mario 64 for the limitations they were trying to put on you. Well, in Super Mario Galaxy, for some reason, compared to Super Mario 64, it's not as easy to do tricks. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because the physics are different and I'm not used to them. But in my opinion, it comes down to them limiting what Mario can actually do. The Beach Bowl Galaxy is the first level where I've noticed the swimming controls are very annoying and limiting. Not only is the movement slow and you can't really make sharp turns to take turns that make you can't really make sharp turns because of how slow his movement is. but you can't really change the camera when you're in a swim mode, and it frustrates the heck out of me, because if you're trying, like example right here, if you wanted to look into a certain corner or something, or you just wanted to turn around, you have to like use the controls to do so, and the camera's looking at the wall most of the time when you're swimming. It's not fun. It's not a fun experience at all. I didn't care for it. So they could have done better on that. Because you were in space, and because there was a lot of experimental physics, and because like you're on planets, you know, it's not like you're in an open world, open sandbox like Super Mario Sunshine and Super Mario 64. Super Mario Galaxy, you're on planets. If I just go to any one of these planets, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Now this is Dusty Dunes Galaxy, and this actually shows you the exact limitations that I'm actually talking about. Unlike Super Mario 64, where you got one planet and it was always the same no matter, you know, it wasn't really a planet, it was more islands. I would say that Super Mario 64 had like floating islands or like sections of land that were cut out for you. In this game, it's not that way. It has a mixture of a lot of Super Mario 64 where there are floating islands in the sky, but also a lot of lands like this where it's very lineal. It's very straightforward. You can't jump off into the sand, otherwise you'll die just like this. It's horrendous and like, ah. And then you also die quicker in this one. That is something I've noticed, is that like, oh my gosh, got 2, and it already starts beeping at you, and now you got 1, and now you're like, oh my gosh, and then 0, and then you're dead and you lose a life. Now, the reason why this is annoying to me is because in Super Mario 64, there was a lot more room for mistakes and error, and you just like accidentally falling and taking damage. I don't think there's any fall damage in Super Mario Galaxy at all, which is fine. I mean, it's not bad. It's just because you're in space, you know. You're not. I mean, it's meant to be like that. It's okay, but there's like the 3 notches of life hurt the game. So it went from, I believe, 8 slices of a pie to 3 slices of a pie on the life meter. Now, the whole time, their goal was to make it harder for the player, because they felt 8 was too easy. And I would agree with them. But going all the way down to 3, in my opinion, it was not the best decision, because you can't just experiment. At least that's how I play the game. So when I like make a mistake, I'm like, oh my gosh, but then how am I supposed to actually get a coin? You have to find them. They're not everywhere. And then if they are somewhere and you use them all up and you die, then you have to be like, oh, that sucks. Coins aren't also not important really in Super Mario Galaxy, which as somebody who likes to do the full collection and just collect a whole bunch of, you know, coins to get, you know, if you got 100 coins, you unlock a star on that map. That was absolutely amazing. In this game, you don't have that. You collect 100 coins, you get a star at all. You have ones that you collect 100 purple coins, you get a star. But it has a specific mission. Super Mario Galaxy is very limiting. It's not like you can just grab whatever go for any star you want. This map looks different at the beginning of this one because it's the star I picked. It's very lineal. And there's only one star throughout the entire like planet where you could actually pick a secondary route, and it's usually a Luma guy. And so the issue with the Luma guys is the fact that like you're only a pop-up selectively depending on the star that you actually picked. And it's very, very annoying. And so now look at this. This was a Luma guy. And so you would like shoot at him. Then, well, he would ask you like, all right, cool, you want to do this? And you're like, yes, you feed him, and then he turns into a star. Well, the issue too is the fact that this path you may only come across 50% of the time. You know, let's say there's 6 stars per level or 7 stars or whatever, and there's one hidden one. Then half of them you can't even reach this Luma guy unless you play this level. And to me, it is actually a little bit of a shame, and it's makes the game a little bit more complicated than I actually want it to be. Because if he was just always there, no matter how you started a level, it would be like real cool, I thought. Of course, the other way of looking at it is just to say, look how beautiful those things blow up at. Look at how beautiful those things blow up at. You see that? Beautiful. But the only thing that you would say is good is that, well, it looks like the level is evolving and changing. And it does, but Super Mario 64 had a similar experience as well. and yet I didn't feel as if I was trapped or anything. And in this game, I do feel very trapped. Look how isolated everything is as I'm falling through the sky here. Everything is so isolated. Everything's separate. There's a bunch of little planets. It's not this thing where it's all necessarily connected and you get that nice homogeneous. It's not like that. It's very discombobulated and very disconnected. It makes the world feel bigger at times, but it also makes the world feel smaller as well. So depending on how you like to play your open world games, and I guess this isn't considered open world, I forgot exactly what it's called, because it's not considered sandbox, so it's like isolated sandbox. I don't know what the technical term for it is, but it's on the screen now. That's the technical term. It does very amazing things, and it's very well done. It's just not my type of Mario game. There is just so many things that I would like to do. They try to limit you on. Example, I would love to be able to spin around and just infinitely go around. Like, this is the skinny tube, right? I want to go, yes! Just do a long jump and just infinitely spin around it, and they just don't let you do that on purpose. Like, that's the closest I can get to that, is like right here. Actually, this is the best I've ever seen it. Oh my gosh. Okay, never mind. I guess I'm doing it. Oh yeah, see, and I land. So I have to really compensate for that. It isn't just something that I can just do. It's harder to exploit things in Super Mario Galaxy than it was to in Super Mario 64. And to be honest, I like jank apparently. I was thinking about this the other day, and I actually do like jank. I like jank in my games. I do like where it feels finished, but where I can exploit it. And exploit meaning that I can just like take the physics. Like they just like take the physics to their ultimate conclusion. And I guess that's what I really like in the Mario franchise. In Super Mario Galaxy, I don't really have that, but in Super Mario Sunshine, I did. In Super Mario 64, I did. But in Super Mario Galaxy, I felt very limited as a player. And I guess that does get resolved a lot with the movement that Luigi has, which I will have to do a sub-review of this game after I play this whole thing when I'm Luigi. But I'm going to take a break from that because I played this whole game as Mario, and I want to do Super Mario Galaxy 2 before, talking about that. So let's move on to some other things. I think the movement's limited. Let's move on to another planet to kind of show you the closest I got to me feeling like I had control over the physics of this character. Okay, real quick, before I even go to that one thing I was talking about, look at how beautiful this is. This is one of my favorite rooms in the entire place. No music, just little, like, silent. And very, 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 like, beautiful. It reminds me of, in Super Mario 64, the one room where you go in there, or like, no, out in the castle's yard, sorry. Out in the castle yard is what it reminds me of. Just silence and maybe a bird twerping. Wow, maybe a bird twerping. Maybe a bird tweeping. I can't, tweeting. There we go, bird tweeting, that's what this is another one. So Deep Dark Galaxy is one of those maps I actually enjoyed the most. This is partly because it actually felt like I was exploiting something. Unlike a lot of the other ones, I felt like I couldn't exploit it. And there's something to say about that. So this one also feels very similar to how a Super Mario 64 world would start. You would see things off in the distance. Like right now, you see those blocks over here in the distance. And in this game, in this round right here, there's these coconuts you can kick around, so there's a little bit of Super Mario Sunshine that's in here that I respect, and I actually really like that game a lot. In fact, I might even like it more than Super Mario Galaxy, so that's saying quite a bit. But the crabs, you got this little thing you can find, you got like just different little hidden things around this map. It's just the opening beach map, and there was something about this opening beach map where I thought, is there more to this map than I actually think? And that's always good to have. Having that mystery, that's what I always felt like with Super Mario 64. This was one of the only few maps that made me feel this way. This canon is very interesting. It's unique. I love how they try to hide a planet behind this palm tree over here. It's great. And this is what I'm talking about. So over here on this planet, this is the one where I feel like I could exploit. So see how the sky changes? Great artistic value for that. But this one here, everything felt small. There was a lot of Super Mario 64 vibes too when you went for it was like the big small world or whatever that one was called. On here, I would like, okay, I want to be able to, I can't wrap, this almost looks small enough, and I would try to go on top of a house and try to like do it from there, and it just wouldn't do it. But then come to find out that there's a through plug on this planet. So you can actually undo it, and now you actually can exploit the physics. And I thought this was so cool. So you can't exploit the physics where you just go around and around and around. This is what I want from my Mario games. I want jank. I do want jank. And that's so weird. I never thought that that would be something that I would actually want. But there's something about exploiting the physics that makes the game better for me personally. I'm not saying it has to make it better for you. I'm not saying it has to make it better or it's a better game because it has more jank in it at all. But for me, with my Mario games, I want it to feel like I'm not limited. I want it to feel like, yes, you have your physics. Yes, this is Mario. This is not GTA. This is not some crazy thing. But I want to be able to feel like I'm actually controlling the character and I can use all of his skills to the fullest potential. There's a couple things here that I've noticed with his movements that are just annoying. So example, when I jump and do a spin jump, the spin jump sometimes cancels out. Whenever you're going on a ledge, you'll try to grab a ledge. So what you'll do is you'll do like, I want to get up to a very high ledge. You go jump, jump, jump again, and then do a spin jump, but then it won't grab the ledge for some reason. It's one of those things where I'm trying to grab a ledge and then all of a sudden it'll just drop me off, and I don't understand why it does that at all. I really don't. I don't know if it's a bug in the game or if they purposely make it so that if you do a triple jump and then a spin jump, it won't actually let you grab the edge, so you can't just do like a wall jump again and exploit it. I'm not sure, but that needed to be tuned out, and that frustrated the heck out of me, and I died so many times because of that. It's just annoying. On this map specifically, and this is the one that I actually have a good memory of, a good like fond memory of this map here. They just did such a good job with how you have to go to another planet to grab the firepower and then come back to this planet. Very well designed, very nice, some thinking skills, but it's also like, it's straightforward enough where you're like, oh, this is actually cool, this is actually unique, this is actually like something where there's like a little puzzle to solve here. And this map is so similar to a lot of Super Mario 64 maps. You start out with like a beach overworld that has some things to do, and then you go underneath, and that's when all the really, really cool stuff starts happening. This map is very well designed, and it has a lot of things that are just throwbacks to the original Super Mario 64. You got the sunken boat, you got like stuff on the ground, broken things, and it just looks nice. It's very similar to Super Mario 64 underwater levels and all. Another thing I did not like in this Mario is the swimming. It is, in my opinion, pretty bad. I don't actually enjoy the controls to swimming at all. Part of the reason is the fact that they also are limiting you because they're trying to not have motion sickness, which I do respect, and I think that is a very good thing, because boy, that would be horrible to be playing this game and feeling sick. But the issue I've noticed about Super Mario Galaxy is that you really can't turn the camera. Like right now, I'm trying to turn the camera and it won't let you to. It's like a forced third-person perspective, and it's very, very, very annoying for me, because if you just wanted to turn the camera to see what's behind you, you can't. And how do you turn Mario anyway? Well, you can turn him around, but then he likes to swim away from the camera because the camera keeps turning, and it makes it very difficult to control him, at least in my opinion. And when you want to go fast, you can do a spin move, which is nice, but you lose all that mobility. You just spin basically in one direction with every so slight turns rather than sharp turns. And they also got rid of the whole fact that you actually have a health bar and the air bar combined, like in Super Mario 64, which I'm fine with. I thought that didn't make any sense anyway in Super Mario 64, that you could just get life from swimming in water. But in this game, they do a good job with the air, and I think the air is actually plenty of time. I think they do a very good job with that. But the actual like power-ups, on the other hand, well, why is there time? I'm a little confused. I guess one of the reasons why I'm confused about it is because you'll get a firepower, and every other Mario game, if you get a firepower, you keep it until you get hit. But in Super Mario Galaxy, it's on a timer, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. Because see, like right there, I got hit by something, and yet Mario didn't actually lose his power. It's on a timer. Like in Super Mario 64, it was the first three-dimensional Mario game, but you didn't have a fire power. You didn't have an ice power. You didn't have any of those things. You had a metal cap. You had an invisible cap. And then you also had a flying cap. All of that made sense for it to be on a timer. Was the flying cap on a timer? Was it on a timer? Or was that not on a timer? I don't think was the flying cap on a timer? Yeah, I think it was. But it was a very long timer, and it made sense. And I guess it's a similar timer to how this one is in Super Mario Galaxy. But I'm just saying that, like, those were very specific you know, power-ups, and their attributes were like temporary, and I'm like, that's cool, I understand that. And the music had good cues. This one is way too short. You don't have enough time for the firepower, you don't have enough time for the ice power. It gets annoying. I end up having to go back and get stuff. Except for the bee power. I have to let you guys know something. Except for the darn bee power and the spring power, which actually lasts until you get into the water, which is an interesting pick for why you can't use that actual power-up anymore. It's just like, wait a minute, so you can keep the bee forever, and you can keep the spring forever until you touch the water, but yet you can't have the firepower? See, I have to get off this topic. If I don't get off this topic now, I'll never get off the topic, so let's move on. And this is another thing about this level. So you have to light up these 3 things. So the first time you're in this level, you have to light up these 2 things in order to unlock the gate. But now you have to do this extra 3rd one, plus the original 2 on the second go round, in order to unlock the ice power. Except the issue with the ice power is the fact that it doesn't act like as if you have ice balls. You're an ice Mario? And so, in my opinion, Super Mario Galaxy doesn't actually follow the lore of the power-ups, and it just frustrates me a lot because I don't know why, and you don't have to get frustrated. It's a great game, and even with the power-ups, I've had a great time, but even though they're temporary, I've had a great time with how they work. I love ice skating as Mario. It's very, very fluid and fun. But the issue is the fact that, like, it just is not how those power-ups originally worked in New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and it just... or any of the Super Mario Brothers games, any of the 2D ones. And so, see, this is something I'm telling you right now. If I lose the power, I have to come back here and pick it up. So, a lot of this game frustrated me because not only do I have 3 slots to my 1 life, I also have to make sure that I time this correctly to the point where I can actually use all this stuff. I'm so bad at this game. But use all of it to actually use it in time to get up this pole. And so, like, the timing... and then something like that'll happen, and then I'll have to go all the way back and redo all of that. There was a lot of levels in Super Mario Galaxy where I was just doing the same thing over and over again just because I didn't have the skill for it, or the lack of perspective for it. Because with these 3D games, it's not like as if everything is like straightforward. With any 3-dimensional game, you're going to lose perspective or not understand, or things just don't make sense because of the fact that it looks closer than it is, but it's not closer than it is. It's farther away. So it being farther away, you think it's closer, you mistime your jump. And that's... wait, what the heck? That coin just disappeared. Does it just fall to the bottom? Well, I can't get down there because I have ice on me right now. Why am I getting so frustrated with this game right now? Anywho, so let's get out of that rage of power-ups and why they don't make sense to me in Super Mario Galaxy and they don't follow the lore, etc., etc., etc. I think the hub is very well done in Super Mario Galaxy. The way this is here, you go here and you go to different locations. They're not paintings, but they are observatories, and you go through each one, different rooms, and they just pop up different locations. I think that's really good. Okay, so we're going to get into some things that... I just said the hub was good, but now we're going to get into some things that are a little bit janky. So there's another thing I have an issue with Super Mario Galaxy that was, for some reason, shouldn't have been annoying, but it was very annoying to me. I was trying to play this game without any, like, manuals or looking up anything or spoilers or anything like that. And there is this map here, and it's supposed to tell you where everything is. Well, if I click the screen twice, it shows me, oh, look at all this. There's the Bowser's Galaxy Reactor, there's the Buoy Base Galaxy, Bowser's Airship, etc. Well, I was trying to find this one, BIGMOUTH Galaxy. And I'm like, okay, so I'm looking on the map, there's a Bubble Blast, there's a Loop-de-Whoop Galaxy, Rolling Gizmo, etc., etc. And I'm like, wait, I want to find this one, BIGMOUTH Galaxy. And I click on it, and it's literally the last star on my list to do, and I couldn't find it. So you're thinking it's here, right? You're thinking, yeah, okay, they're gonna put the star, the crown, the actual, like, location where it is. So it's in between me and this here. So, okay, fine, I'm going to go look over there. And I'm looking all around here. I'm, like, jumping on the couch, I'm jumping on the trees, I'm trying to see if there's anything over here, I'm talking to this guy, I'm looking underneath, I'm falling off, I'm doing all sorts of stuff. And I looked forever. I'm like, well, maybe if it's not down here, maybe it's up there. I don't know, maybe it's up there. here. I'm just trying to figure this out. And so I'm like up here and I'm looking around and I'm like, okay, well, is it up here? Is it up here? Is it over here? And I'm just to the point where I literally was like, did I break the game? Did I actually break it to the point where it should be here somewhere? It said it is. Is it down by the bookshelf? And so it looked down there, all over the place. I ended up looking online after so long, and BIGMOUTH Galaxy, they said, was over by the bedroom. I'm like, by the bedroom? Okay, well, I guess I'll go by the bedroom. And then I look over here, there's a Luma, and I talk to him, and he's like, okay, would you like to go to the BIGMOUTH Galaxy? Are you kidding me? Wait. Hold up. So you're telling me I'm all the way over here, basically the other side of the map, and you're telling me this is right here, BIGMOUTH is down here, but it's actually over here? But yet the Gateway Galaxy is right there, and if you go there, it's there, so why is the BIGMOUTH not here, but it's here, and oh, it frustrated the heck out of me. And you would think with how detailed they are in this game, Nintendo, you would think that they would at least had that, but no, they got that wrong, and it just was like, at least put this right here. It would have helped me so much, and I wouldn't have to like stress out. And I played that level last, so I mean, imagine you beat Super Mario Galaxy, you've done everything, and then there's only one star you need in the entire thing. And you get greeted to this. It was very lackluster, and it was very like, mysterious though at the same time. I would have to say the way this galaxy is actually built is very like small, tight, and also kind of tricky. I love how they have this little turtle here, and like you're trying to like, oh, I can't, it's a golden box, and you read it and it tells you it'll only open to a shell that shines. And this old guy just practically wants to die. He's like, this is my hideaway, it's the perfect spot for fishing and being left alone. And like he just doesn't like anybody, and he's just always like reminiscing about like a better time and how like he doesn't understand why people can't just leave him alone. It's like hilarious. He just wants to like, you know, live in peace and harmony with himself and just like not be alive anymore. But yeah, this round was very, very unique to me. I thought they did a very decent job with it. They have this big jelly guy. I don't know why he ever is a thing, because all he does is basically just look cool, but you can't do anything with him. And you have to like collect all these little like shine sprite things that are on the floor and not get hit by that thing like I did right there. But anyway, this level is, I think, is very well designed. I think they did a good job with this one. And this being the last level that I played, it was definitely a different experience. It had a lot of like reminiscent, like throwback feel to it, kind of Super Mario 64. And then, what is this? You actually have to jump up. This is so crazy. You actually do it without the star, which is what I was doing before. I love this. You can just like jump your way up there. You don't even need those pieces. Like, haha, screw them. But you can actually like just like float in here. The fact that there's like 2 layers of water is absolutely insane. Also, I had no idea how ugly those little tiny like piranhas are. Oh, those are some ugly things. Never noticed them first time I seen them in my life. Okay, so now I'm gonna grab it. I am like ADHD right now. Oh, I threw it away. Don't worry, it pops back up, guys. Don't worry. All is safe. All is good. So anyway, you take this little tiny turtle shell and you go down into the water and you fall off into the other water. Don't get confused. Water is not the same as water, but it's very similar, right? Okay, good. Now that you got that, you have to find the exit hole. Where's the exit hole? Where am I? After going around in circles, then you finally find the exit hole, and then you just do not hit any of those blocks. So you have to learn the hard way. Oh, I guess you could just blast through it. Okay, never mind. There's a bunch of boos here all of a sudden. Nobody knows why. They just ended up wanting to appear, but your light can like kill them, so that's cool. You can like take your turtle shell, and then you can finally, don't miss, don't throw it anywhere else, but throw it at the actual box. It'll open up, and then guess what you got? You don't get a star. No. You got Cat and Toad. Cat and Toad is here. And this is what he sounds like.
Man, that was close. Oh, Mario, I almost forgot to tell you something. I was trying to get a star, but I fell into your treasure chest. Let me tell you, it's even smaller than it looks. Anyway, here's a star I found in there. No, really, it's yours.
That's my best Toad impression. I hope you guys like it. I hope I get 5 million thumbs up on this video for that Toad impression. It was the best Toad impression ever.
Take this power star.
I mean, he just told me to take it, but I'm gonna take it anyway. Yeah, baby, I got a power star, yeah! The Sea Slide Galaxy. Purple coins by the seaside. Okay. Now, I understand where they're coming from. They have the whole tint of the world purple to know that you're going after the purple coins. it's okay. I think they could have done a little bit better than just tinting the screen around the edges purple. It just, I think, would have made it feel a little bit better in my opinion, just to have it normal. And this is another thing that is annoying to me. They isolate it, so it makes it feel like the world isn't like as real, you know, it's just more plastic. All you're here to do is collect the 100 purple coins. And there's an issue with the way they do the 100 coins in this round. Because you have to collect exactly the 100 coins that are around this map, you missing one is very, very, very probable. There's also other maps that have a very similar issue. So the Beach Bowl Galaxy. This is the other galaxy with a 100 coin run. 100 purple coins. Beach coming for purple coins. Yeah, it really is Beach coming for it. So this is a good example of, I think, just at a point where the design is a little bit too rigid. It's a little bit too containing, too limiting. Because you don't actually have like 120 coins in the level, so there's margin for error, I should say. There's no margin for error here. You literally have to collect 100 of these little guys. Now, it seems straightforward and everything going good. You know, oh, they're really obvious. There's a bunch of them in a circle right there, so easy. Well, there was a point where I actually collected all of the coins inside this entire level and I couldn't find one. I mean, I was swimming, I was jumping, I was climbing, I was doing all sorts of stuff just trying to find it. And I come to find out, it was right here. This little coin in the corner, just chilling. And I shouldn't be getting all hung up over, I don't know, Mario game. But yeah, it's because, and it didn't have, there's no hints for, they said look along the beach, but how are they supposed to know when you're looking everywhere? And the fact that you can't actually turn your camera half the time because it just won't let you. Like right here it lets you, but if you're up against a wall, it won't actually let you turn it. Let me show you. See, like, watch. If you're up against the wall, it won't let you turn it anymore. See, like, imagine you're jumping around and you missed the coin. Like, right there, I could have missed it easily, and I did. There was many times I was jumping around, I couldn't find it. I couldn't see it. So there's little things like that where they could have improved. It doesn't have to be perfect. I understand. But, like, I don't know. I guess I expected Mario Galaxy to be a little bit more polished by the time I actually got to play it. And I am playing it late. I'm used to a lot smoother things and less jankier things. And to be honest, it's not like, you know, it's a bad game. It's a great game. I'm just sharing from my perspective why it's not on my list of like one of the best games ever. Okay, so the Melty Molten Galaxy is very, very cool. It reminds me a lot of Super Mario 64, and if you didn't know already, I really like Super Mario 64, and any round that reminds me of Super Mario 64 is like basically a winner in my book. And so this round here is very, I think, very well designed. While it is, yes, you can kind of see a bunch of stuff off into the distance, and this is bigger than maybe you're thinking it is, but it's, you know, still isolated areas. That is a little bit disappointing, but this area here, the very starting area, is just big enough to where you feel confident in what you're actually doing. It feels nice to be able to explore. There's that like kind of close, tight-knit, you know, lava area that you had in like the very first lava round you hit in the basement in Super Mario 64. That one, very similar feel. It's very straightforward, but also there's like slightly different avenues you can take, and I really enjoyed this one. And so this is a great round. I would say this world is awesome. This planet is very good. They did a very great job, and I just enjoyed it. It was a little bit difficult, and I actually kind of took that into account as a pro, because some of these other rounds were really easy. And so this one being decently hard, but also manageable and understandable, and I knew where I was going, was very nice. Yeah, I don't know, it's just the graphics on this one are very good too. Once you get off this little part of the planet, there's just so many good things to look at. And also this little Easter egg here that if you actually don't go through the star, you actually fall into the volcano. And when you fall into this volcano, it's an old reference to Super Mario 64 where you would be in a volcano and you had to work your way up. And you just click this button and just have a fun time. And then it just explodes behind you because, you know what, why not? We're in a Michael Bay movie. And you have to act fast, and that's one thing too, is that like these orbs, I thought you could do like an infinite spin on them. Nope, because the gravity interacts with each other, therefore you can't do an infinite loop like I wanted to. It just isn't gonna happen. It's gonna do that. But if you keep taking this route here, I'll show you. it gets so crazy really quick, and I just think they designed this so well. Like, look at how beautiful you're going through. There's lava everywhere. It's just, oh, such a well-designed little system right here. Just beautiful. Hits it out of the park with presentation, with the simplicity of each little world. There isn't too complex, but just enough where you're like, oh, look at this, is so cool. It's half sunken in the lava, half not sunken in the lava. And there's just something, they just designed this level, this world, this planet so well. And then look at this, guys. So just they let you fly around this kind of like bone, wooden, skeletal mountain thing. And this mountain is so cool because it reminds me of the Bomb-Omb Mountain in Super Mario 64. See, if it reminds me of Super Mario 64, it's a great world. If it doesn't remind me of Super Mario 64, it's something. You know, it's just something. I can't, like, is it good? Is it bad? I think it depends on how I enjoy it that round at this point. I don't know. I think it's very hard doing a review of a game like this because I had different expectations. I wanted to play this game for so long. I've wanted to play Super Mario Galaxy for so long that the fact that I'm playing it now, I think I lost a lot of like interest I would have had if I was like younger. Like if I played this game literally when I was 9 years old or when I was 10 years old, my view on it would be completely different. I would think this is probably one of the best games in the world. It was amazing, you know. I would be thinking about it completely different than I am now. But because the fact that I'm playing it as an older age and I've seen things in life and I just have higher expectations for games, a lot more stimulating games, I just don't think this one's that good. And I think the fact that it is a limiting experience, in my opinion, like oh, look how beautiful this thing, oh, it cracks so well. I don't know how they did those graphics on the Wii, it's so well done. Look at the top world is purple and the bottom world is like, they did such a good job designing this one, I'm just saying. But I think it's just because I played this game so late. I played Super Mario Galaxy so late, I don't have the imagination of a kid. Like if I saw this as a kid, dude, this would be the most amazing experience I would have ever had. And I probably would have liked this game better than Super Mario 64. But, you know, that's not how life is. And as good as this game is, it just can't reach into my heart and just find that really tucked up place. I'm pretty sure I went over all my complaints so far. I'm sorry this video is getting a little bit long. Or actually, I'm not sorry. I guess I'm just like, I guess I apologize if you wish it was like shorter or more to form and more isolated and structured and I actually had a script, but I appreciate it if you have watched this far. I mean, it means a lot to me. First time me ever doing this, I plan on doing it in a similar manner. I don't plan on maybe changing, just kind of like me walking around a game and just like explaining to you what I do and what I don't like about it. So there's a couple other levels we'll cover and then I will close out this review. Okay, guys. Ghostly Galaxy. Now, it's not my favorite in level design, although it kept me intrigued because of the fact that you have Luigi in the Haunted Mansion, which is a reference to Luigi's Mansion. Very good. And the fact there's an overlap inside of Mario game and it's just like, oh my goodness. Also, the little ghosts in the background are creepy. I don't like them, but they're there. Yeah, so like this game here, this level here, I mean, is very, very cool. I think it's cool. I did have fun with the level design. I don't think it's the best level design ever, but it works and I enjoyed it. And this round brings a lot of good feels because of the music. Listen to this music. It is so well done, so beautifully done. Like, there's so much passion with this soundtrack. I don't know what it necessarily is. It's just the way that the orchestra does it, the way that it crescendos into this like beautiful masterpiece. And there's like two like separate songs that merge together in the middle by the crescendo. And I think it's just so well designed. And also the perspective here in the beginning of the level, very good. Very, very well done. The fact that you meet a Boo and you don't know how to beat him and you have to like lure him into the light and like try to kill him is like super, super awesome. And so that was never really done in a Mario game. So this is like first time for everything. And this is very well done. You kill him and then guess what? Congratulations. You have to walk up the stairs and there's another one. But he is the one you want because you just learned from the other one. But this one has the key you need. Also, there's like a hidden toad right here for some reason in a box. I don't know how he got in the box, but like he tells you like the ghost hates the light. Yeah, he does. Also, you get hit by these fire things, which is cool. The detail, nice, nice, nice. There's a lot of levels of Super Mario Galaxy that are very abstract, and it kind of breaks the immersion a little bit. That's just my opinion. That looks so goofy, him falling into a mini black hole. And see, this is another thing I don't like about the game, is the fact, like, see, I died way over there in the other room, but it expects me to just, you know, redo this whole sequence, and I don't care for that. I wish I had more, like, there was more chances for mistake in this game. I don't want to restart the level just because I fall into a black hole. Because, like, the black holes don't even make sense in this context, because they're just, like, floating around, and, like, there's a bunch of them. It's not like, oh, you fall out and you fall into one black hole. No, there's a bunch of little black holes. It just, why couldn't those black holes, instead of being, like, instant death, why couldn't they be, like, I don't know, like an undefeated enemy that just hits you and makes you hurt? There's stuff like that in Super Mario Galaxy that just don't do it for me. I think it really comes down to the fact that, like, I end up redoing that one part of that same level over and over and over again, and it really rubs me the wrong way. I don't want to play the same sequence over and over again, which makes me wonder if I can't handle Super Mario Galaxy when it does it, even though I beat it and I'm okay. I'm not, like, mentally broken or anything from it. I don't think I would be able to play a Dark Souls game. I don't think I would enjoy that. I think I would have a very difficult time with the Dark Souls game, because I'll just be, like, dying all the time and restarting and having to redo that whole sequence. And I think it mainly comes down to, like, the checkpoints in Super Mario Galaxy, because, like, right there, I respawn, but, like, on the other place, I respawn all at the beginning. This is so cool. So, like, the fact that you actually, it draws you up to the window, and how Luigi is calling towards you, and how you can't do anything with it, but, like, go around and hopefully catch up with him later. Sorry, man. Sorry, bro. Like, that's cool. So I have to, like, jump and then grab. Oh my gosh, I grabbed the wrong one though. Ooh, risky. Okay, the Boo power. I would say this is probably one of the best implemented powers in the whole game, because it's not on a timer. And once again, it's not on a timer. I like that. And there's a use for it. You basically turn into Kirby, but, like, with a Boo Mario skin. Infinitely jump, and then you can go invisible, which is not, I guess, not a Kirby thing. But yeah, that's really cool. I do like the way it's implemented as, like, a necessity in this round and not just something that you can do. And it's easy to use, it's simple, it's straightforward. Bro, you finally came. I got lost with the toads. It was terrible. But I found a power star, so that makes up for it, right? Ah! R.I.P. my Luigi impression. Let's go home. Yeah, anyway, really cool stuff. Really well designed. This is a great level. Okay, so the Space Junk Galaxy is a good galaxy. It was one of those galaxies where it was just strange enough. It actually was good. Like, it felt like a galaxy. Like, it felt futuristic. It felt very space-like. It was very fitting for this series. It just had a lot of variance. You knew what you were doing. It's like a good weird. I don't know, there's always that, like, weird movie that it doesn't make any sense why you would like it, but it just fits, you know, the boot fits. And this is one of those levels where it's weird and abstract, but so fits the theme of galaxy and space that it works brilliantly. And the fact that you're, like, on, like, different pieces of space junk is just, oh, it's really cool. Yeah, he did a good job. Very good job here. There's also a lot of experimentation here too in this level. The whole entire Super Mario Galaxy is experimentation, but like, you know, pole stars in planets, which is what these are actually called. And the pole star noise had a lot of audio testing they had to go through to get the audio just right. The varying, but the varying audio in the pole stars. Very well done. The sound on that is very good, and they did a very good job making sure that it was, you know, it took a while, but they did the right thing, that's for sure. These spiders must die. Must jump on their heads, get a coin from them at least, get all of the stuff. Oh yeah, more extra spiders because I can. That is one thing about Super Mario Galaxy is good too, is when there's like a secret like undertone for a planet. They do it quite often, but it's a nice little charming secret. I don't know how they did gravity around like square joints like this, but they did it, and it is amazing, and I love it, and congrats to them. Gotta set all these toads free because they have been capsulized. Oh no, it's Captain Toad coming for the rescue after completely abandoning his crew. I love when they have like two gravities really close to each other.
Mr. Mario! As the brave captain of the Toad Brigade, I have discovered a shortcut to the Power Star. Take the Sling Star at the top of the Star Shroom.
That is a dying Toad impression, by the way. Okay, this right here, this level, the first level just captivated me. How fluid, how good the animation was. You didn't know necessarily what was the right way. There's tricks and turns, and you have to grab all of these little tiny, like 5 silver stars. Those are actually enjoyable compared to the 100 purple coins, which I thought I would like more. And I love the beginning of the purple coins, and then it was like, okay, I can't find the last 5. I'm very annoyed. Oh, see, look at that. The way that these specific ones go together and come apart is so cool. Compared to the purple coins, where I would just get annoyed because I couldn't find the last one or the last 5. This one here, it's very straightforward. You know, like you have to collect 5 of these guys. There's only 5, and they're very dominant. Not only are they silver and shiny, but they have a bubble around them, so it's easy to know where they are. They formed a mama star. And this is something interesting too, is that the lore of Super Mario Galaxy is that the stars sacrifice themselves for a greater cause. Like all of the Lumas, all the 5 little silver stars will sacrifice themselves and form one big gold star. Or they'll sacrifice themselves to planets or to launch stuff to help you get on your journey. Like, and that's something that's really big with the theme of Super Mario Galaxy, is the sacrifice of all of these little Lumas. And it's a bittersweet thing. The story does tell you it's kind of actually a really sad story. It's not really a story that has very much of a conclusion. There's a lot of Eastern thinking in this movie, which isn't necessarily bad at all. It's just the way that they go about doing it. Like, even like she left her family basically to become a mama to the rest of these Lumas. So she basically made a sacrifice in order to help them. There's a lot of that theming throughout this game. There's a lot of deeper undertones to Super Mario Galaxy than people realize. This Bubble Breeze Galaxy through the Poison Swamp is one of the most unique perspective changes, I think, in the Galaxy game. Because you start out in a third-person perspective, which I just realized Mario is third person, never first person. Interesting. Anyway, you start out with I'm new to the world, guys, sorry. You have a crash ship here, and you got the little toads rocking around. You can always talk to them. By the way, I love talking to these little guys. These guys are hilarious. I like how they're all hardworking, doing their own thing, or sleeping, and then like Captain Toad is like, oh, you know, I'm the big toad here. I know what I'm doing. While like everybody else is working, he just kind of like takes a vacation or whatever, and it comes back. It's like, oh yeah. But this level is so good because now you're in a third-person top-down perspective, and the bubbles are very enjoyable. You have a lot of control, a lot of like, you can go slow, you can go fast, you can just do a whole bunch of stuff. These were very enjoyable. These mini-games, I never really shied away from. These were great. The mini-games I didn't like were, very obvious ones I didn't like were the ones where you're on a ball. Yes, these ones. Rolling green Galaxy. I understand what they're shooting for. They're shooting for mini golf in the sky. in space. I understand. I get it. It's artistic. It's nice. It's very jolly and bright and green. But the thing about these specific games is the fact that you have a lot less control because you have to hold the Wii remote as it's showing you right here. You have to actually show it where it's actually pointing up towards the sky. You have to like point the remote towards the sky, and all you do is jump and move around. Well, the micro movements is my issue. I don't know if it's because the Wii remotes are old and used, whatever, but it's okay, it works, but it's the way his momentum is. You can have a lot of momentum, it takes so long to slow down, which, I mean, makes sense, I guess, because it's like, oh my gosh, like that. See, you don't want to do that, because that would be bad. The momentum and the physics in this one are, I guess, more realistic than not, but I think this would be an area where if you just kind of like tone down the physics rather than being it where if you go really fast and you try to slow down, it takes a long time, it would be more instant. I think it would actually help the game rather than hurt it. You know, I mean, it's a gimmick, it's okay, but it's not a gimmick that I actually enjoy because it takes a lot of brain power, it takes a lot of like movements, and also I was doing a dumb thing where I was challenging myself to get like all the coins in this one, like what if you get all the coins? It's like a benefit, and like I would always miss one coin at the end, and it would frustrate the heck out of me, so I ended up playing this round 10 different times, 15 different times, so I was trying to get 20 different times even, just trying to get like 100 coins or whatever. And I mean, these rounds, I mean, if you're just going through them and you're really good at them, it's fine. But I mean, the gimmick is something that I don't really care for. I just don't really, it's not a gimmick that I actually like. Mainly because you can't really be precise. You're kind of at the sacrifice of how they've like calibrated the dead zones for you. And the fact that you're on the star makes it ever more frustrating because you have to roll this thing all the way to the end in order to unlock it, even though you're just right on top of it. It's just taunting me, and I don't like it for long periods of time. I can barely handle it now. You have to like run and jump, and if you miss, you fall, and you have to restart, and I got a game over because I suck at the game right now. That's what the game over screen looks like, by the way. Okay, so I'm not actually gonna go to it, but Good Day Galaxy. Great introductory galaxy, and definitely super fun. Gusty Garden will be a footnote. The cube in Gusty Garden, that whole entire, the 100 coins on that was actually decent, and then the where you have to chase the bunny around on there is actually really fun. I enjoyed that. Also, freeze frame. Also, the freeze flame galaxy is very bittersweet for me. I think the little planet you start on and the lava area are very fun, but the mountain has a reminiscence of the Bob-omb's peak, you know, Bob-omb's summit in Super Mario 64, but it's kind of in between the whole, wow, this is a new bunch of new galaxy stuff, and then a little reminiscence of Super Mario 64, and it's just, to me, I had difficult climbing that mountain, which was good because it gave me a challenge. It was like a bittersweetness with the freeze flame galaxy. So yeah, Mario Galaxy is not all bad, but there's a couple other things we gotta go over before I actually say au revoir to this quite amazing yet not my type of game. The tornadoes are give and take because they're not very well designed because you don't get much uplift with them. It just they're okay. I mean, they're fine. They're alright. What's really confusing is that as long as you don't hit a rock on these, you don't get hurt. But if you don't miss the rock, then it hurts you. Which the first time I didn't understand. So I was like, "What? How'd I die?" Okay, so I just figured out these things are called thwomps finally. So these are the thwomps. I thought the other ones were thwomps, but these ones are the womps. Now, here's why I do not like these thwomps, okay? These thwomps, in Super Mario 64, it wouldn't kill you. But in Super Mario Galaxy, you die immediately. Which, to me, is super frustrating. Because I'm like, what do you mean I die immediately? I don't want to die immediately. I want to be able to have the fun things of when he's flattened, he has to get, back up to his full Mario pudgy state, but no, not at all. This one, it's instant death. So, yeah, I do not like the thwomps, as they're called in this one at all. The way that they have their lives here, which is very annoying for me. The first time I figured this out, I had like 25 lives racked up. I had 25 Marios, and I was like, yes, we're doing good. I quit out of the game. I come back, and guess what? I'm down to 4. And I'm like, how am I down to 4? I just had 25. I don't understand. Well, it turns out that the way they designed the game is considered to be an artificial penalty. Like, you can lose your life really easily now with just 3 hits, but you have an unlimited amount of them. And to me, I don't like that. Don't like the design at all. I like the old design. In fact, I actually wish the lives were rarer. I wish it was actually rarer to get 1-ups. And it actually was, you know, I think 6 pie slices would have been, or 5 pie slices would have even been a better one than just the 3. I would have taken that over this unlimited lives and me dying all the time because I just don't understand. Also, Toad only has every 1 letter for me. Ever the same one. Ever the same from Princess Peach.
Dear Mario, I'm in a faraway place, but I'm alright because you're coming to rescue me.
Oh, well, good. That means I can take my time. Which, I mean, if the galaxy was at stake, man, that took way too long to get to Peach. She would have been long gone. And then you know, the Toad gives you this like 5 1-up mushroom, which is a lot. And you can say no if you don't want it, but yeah, click yes and whatever. So once again, do not like how my ups deplete every single time I exit the game. Just a minor thing. I like collecting things in Mario games, so just having them go away makes me so frustrated. Okay, and the music around here is pretty good. I would have to say it's alright, but I don't actually really care for the music in Super Mario Galaxy. That was kind of surprising to me because I always thought, oh, the orchestra, and I thought, oh, this is amazing, and like I heard people talk about it and how it was like the first orchestra on a Super Mario game, and then I just come to find out that it's alright. I mean, it's okay, it's decent. It's not really my thing though. I think it's because it goes so far out and away from what Super Mario actually is in the music that it actually kind of disappoints me. It's not that the orchestra is bad. Like Ghostly Galaxy is my favorite song in the entire thing, and then probably the music that's just playing right now in the lobby or whatever you call this, the starship thingy, the home base. It's just one of those things with this game that I don't know. It's the music isn't bad. It's just not my thing. And I think when I'm comparing it to Super Mario 64, like I was listening to the soundtrack of Super Mario Galaxy, and I listened to the soundtrack of Super Mario 64, and there's a lot more, maybe it's just nostalgia, but there's a lot more, I don't know, catchy beats and like more iconic music, in my opinion, from Super Mario 64 than there is in Super Mario Galaxy. Now, I could be 100% wrong, and like it is their first time using an orchestra, so maybe if it would be better and like, you know, if they had the orchestra on a second game or whatever. Like I don't mind the music in Super Mario 3D World, but I would have to say definitely there's a couple of banger tracks in here, then other than that, not really anything else. I don't really see Super Mario Galaxy's, you know, musical score very that appealing to me. So if it was appealing to you, it makes sense. It's an orchestra, but it was not appealing to me. So there's my 52 cents on that one. Also, I really despise this music here. The music that plays whenever you get a superpower is so not my thing. I don't like it. It's obnoxious. It's like it's just not my thing at all. It's just not. And the flying around with the hands is okay. I mean, it's pretty fun. It's pretty fluid. It's pretty straightforward. It's kind of like swimming, though, with the camera angles that are so limited in this game that, like, see, I can't even, like, change. Oh, you can do that in the air. What? Oh, that's so cool. That is sick. Stuff like flying. Whoop, yeah. That's so cool. Anyway, so, yeah, the animations are really cool. I like how they have these 1-ups that you really can't get anywhere else except for flying. It's kind of cool. Like as a kid, I would love this so much. But the camera angles, because they're compensating for, you know, motion sickness. What the heck is the camera doing? They're compensating for, whoa! They're compensating for motion sickness, so, you know, there's a lot of, you know, things that they're trying to limit you on the camera. And I don't know, man. Superpowers in this one, the music that plays when you get a superpower just makes me not even want to get them, so. Yeah, I'd rather have, you know, his default moveset is used more than the actual power-ups. And then the power-ups in this one are just, like, barely give you anything extra. Like, the power-ups are very limited. I already talked about it. I already went on a rant, so I'm not going to go on a rant again. So anyway, that is my review of Super Mario Galaxy. It's, middling review for me. It's a game that I enjoyed, but it's not a game that I love, and it was worth the play, and I can't wait to play Super Mario Galaxy 2, and actually, I'm thinking I like Super Mario Galaxy 2 more than I like Super Mario Galaxy. Simply based off of the fact that Super Mario Galaxy 2 is made by a different developer, basically a brand new developer, but they also made Super Mario, Super Mario 3D World. And I really had a decent liking to that. I thought it was a little bit janky, but I actually enjoyed that one enough to where I'm willing to take his Super Mario Galaxy 2. He picked up the development, and I want to see how he did it. I appreciate you guys sticking around. I know this is more ramblings, spending time doing this, but I want to do it. So now I just feel I can just move into Galaxy 2, and then I'll do a review of that as well. So in 2025, is Super Mario Galaxy worth playing on the Wii? 100% yes. Will it run on your modern TV? Maybe not. Does it hold up to today's, fine-tuned standards? Probably not. No, not really. Does it hold up graphically? Yes, but that's kind of about it. I think it's one of those games that was amazing for the time, but there's better games to play now, and better Mario games to play now, and I would even say there were games released before this Mario game that have more merit to them than Galaxy, but I'm not dissing on you at all. If this is one of your favorite Mario games, that's good for you, seriously. Congratulations. I mean, it is a very beautifully and well done game. It's actually astonishing that this is actually coming out of a Wii at 60 frames per second. It's basically a miracle game. I had a lot of fun with it. There was a lot going on in the end and fighting Bowser. I had a hard time with Bowser though because I didn't understand that you have to hit the little tiny circle on the little tiny ball he is in the first round, so I had to look that up too. A little more explanation of the game, hey, you use this to hit this here in order to break it, like those mud balls, you hit the little red thing underneath them to break them open. It would have been good to know, a little tiny example in the game that would have helped me with that. So, besides those little blind spots there, I'd say that it's a decent game. So, yeah. I am glad to be moving on from Galaxy though, so I will see you all in the next one. Adios.